let's talk about Amazon. So
Mhm.
Amazon, after Amazon reported earnings last week, what were the three biggest insights you took away from their report? And are you more bullish on them as an investor as a result?
Yeah, Amazon's one of my favorite companies. One of our top picks in Red Panda has been for a while. Point number one, double-digit revenue growth is the norm for Amazon. So
Mhm.
Q2 of last year was an exception. So 2023 it was up 10.8%. 2021 it was up 27.2%. Number two, the quarterly revenue was amazing. So the quarter two of 2023, they did $134.4 billion in one quarter.
Mhm.
Um, and then Amazon Web Services did 22.1 billion. Amazing company. They could be the largest revenue company in the world in about 3 or 4 years. One stat that I look at is how long does it take a company to make $1 million? They even beat Apple. Apple comes in at 1 minute and 35 seconds. Every 58 seconds, Amazon makes $1 million. So by the time we went through the announcement and InvestFest lineup, they probably made $12 million just in that time frame. And I really think if a couple of streaming players fall apart, they could eventually fill in the gap and be maybe the third or fourth best player in that space and start to monetize a lot better there. I love Amazon. It's one of my favorite companies of all time. Um, Definitely an investment I'm looking to hold for the next 10 or 15 years, but they are just killing it. And we can argue they don't even have, I love the current CEO that they have, but they don't have maybe a Jamie Dimon in banking or a Tim Cook at Apple. I always think if they got another person to hold that role for 2 or 3 years, like how much more effective and impactful or Bezos come back could it be? So Amazon literally, like if you think about, I wish I can get my packages delivered, I can get my medicine delivered, I can scan all of my healthcare data. It tells me what I need to buy in advance. I can have it shipped to my door and I don't have to travel and be stuck in traffic. If you were growing up in the 1990s or early 2000s, this is a company that you prayed for. They are here now and here
Mhm.
to stay. Um, Absolute amazing performance. Their revenue in 2013 quarter two was 15.7 billion. I reiterate again, this past quarter, $134.4 billion in one quarter. Amazon's
Yeah,
one of the greatest companies of all time and a hell of a growth period since then.
still one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still staying by it. It's just interesting. Like even when you're talking about the quarterly revenue, like 2 years ago, having $100 billion quarter was something that we didn't even hear of.
Yep.
Right. First it was Apple, and then we saw Amazon. Now it's like consistently happening. But it's interesting when you look maybe 2 weeks ago at the reports from Microsoft and what was the things that was slowing it down, cloud service. You
Yeah.
looked at Google's report, what was slowing it down, cloud service. And so they almost felt like the precursor for when you saw Amazon reporting that cloud service would be pulled back. And that was the complete opposite. It rose by
Mm-hmm.
12%. 12% growth, AWS, like by itself, 12% increase.
Yeah.
And you're talking over $22 billion in a quarter just on that. The other thing that is shocking, and maybe it's not shocking to people who've been following the company, is the amount of growth that they had on the advertising side.
Absolutely.
It's something that never gets talked about because when we think advertising, the first thing people think of is Meta, and they think Facebook and how they have online ads. And maybe you think of Google in terms of YouTube. But they have, for the past 8 quarters, had better reporting and advertising than all of them.
Yeah. They've been crushing it.
They've been crushing it in that space. And then another point that you just brought up was that the deliveries are getting faster. And so it went from 2-day to same day.
Mm-hmm.
And from a consumer standpoint, that's great because it's like, okay, well, we can get our products faster. But from a business standpoint, think about that. How much less do they now have to pay for transportation?
Yeah.
Right, the fuel that it costs, the translate from flying the merchandising. For the past 2 to 3 years, we've been talking about the infrastructure, and I remember like from some of the early episodes of Market Mondays, they were like,
Yep.
these are the years. Every 4 years, they build their infrastructure, so it costs them to build. But when that build out happens, and they take over malls and they take over drop shipping centers, it becomes more advantageous as the years go on. Now you see why, right? Because now they cut costs on that. So Amazon, I mean, super bullish on it. I've been, all the analysts are looking at it like it's the time. Now it's like sit back and enjoy the ride because the infrastructure is here. cloud services building. And even like you said, from a streaming service, most people don't even think of Amazon Prime as
At all.
something that they have to go to. And it's kind of one of those businesses that they just have, and they're going to wait for the right moment, I'm sure, to put something innovative. But love Amazon for all the reasons that you just said, in addition to the ones I just mentioned.
Yeah, and as they're building out the infrastructure, I think if they start to do a lot better job of advertising alongside the content, that's something no one has. Like, you can't watch Mission Impossible 14 and directly click buy, or watch Power, or it would be dope even just to watch Market Mondays on Amazon Prime and be able to buy the hoodies directly off of the site with like seamless ordering. Click one button, order it, goes to Prime, have it same day, next day. There's a lot of innovation that like a Netflix could not do in comparison, or Disney Plus. So I'll look for them to be a lot more competitive in that space. But even if I go back to 2019, AWS is at 8.4 billion. It's now at 22. This company's just absolutely amazing, man. Like they haven't had any real fall off over like the last 10 to 15 years. And the stock could definitely get better over the next 10 to 12.
All right.